My wife once told me she wasn't ready to have kids. I respected that. I didn't push her, didn't argue. I waited, believing that, eventually, the timing would feel right. But then I saw a message. She sent it to her ex on the same day I finalized plans for our anniversary trip. It read, "I never wanted his children. I wanted yours." I didn't confront her. I stayed quiet. That was 3 weeks ago. Today, she received a letter from immigration, and my phone lit up with 42 missed calls. I hadn't been searching for a reason to leave. If anything, I was trying to pull us back together. After 4 years of marriage, we had settled into a quiet routine. Stable. Predictable. Maybe even forgettable. We weren't loud about love. We didn't argue in public. We just worked. Took trips when we could, hosted a few dinners. From the outside, we probably seemed solid. But inside, things had been slowly unraveling. No fights. No infidelity I could point to. Just distance. A gradual fading. She was always tired. I was always working. Our conversations had dwindled to scheduling, logistics, not connection. The one topic I never pushed was children. She said she wasn't ready. That it felt too soon, too serious. I took her at her word. But I still hoped. So, I arranged a little trip for our anniversary. Just a few days in Montreal. Something slower, romantic. Full of the details she loved, old architecture, cozy cafes, flaky pastries that took ages to make. I booked our dinners, found a charming boutique hotel with a rooftop terrace, even printed the itinerary. I wanted it to feel thoughtful. That night, she dozed off on the couch halfway through a show. It was becoming common. While she slept, I figured I'd save the travel documents to her laptop. She always forgot boarding passes, assumed everything just synced. When I opened it, the messaging app was still open. Likely from earlier. I wasn't snooping. But there it was, a message preview in the corner. I never wanted his children. I wanted yours. It hit like a wall. My mind stalled, trying to undo what my eyes had already seen. When I clicked it open, the whole thread unfolded. It wasn't new. Their messages stretched back months. It was Louis, no photo, just the generic contact icon. Their texts danced between flirty and heavy. Each one deeper than the last. "You don't realize how often I still think of you. He's a good guy, safe, stable. But you made me feel alive. 4 more months and I'm free." The final blow? He's planning something for our anniversary. I'll act surprised. Sent the exact hour I booked our hotel. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. I closed the laptop quietly and just sat. The fridge hummed. Her soft breathing filled the room. No fury, just clarity. Like fog lifting from a mirror. I started replaying all the signs I'd ignored. How she rushed the engagement right before her student visa expired. How she insisted I file for her green card. How she always dodged talk of her ex. Every not yet when kids came up. They weren't signs of hesitation. They were red flags. It hadn't been about timing. It had been about me. The next morning, she asked if I'd touched her laptop. Said it was glitchy. I told her no, probably just sleep mode. She made us coffee, kissed my cheek, and ranted about her new manager like everything was normal. I let her believe it. That day, I called Ben. We hadn't spoken in years, but he was smart, an immigration lawyer. I'd built him a custom CRM back when I freelanced. I didn't explain everything. Just said I had questions about immigration through marriage. He got it immediately. Is her status still conditional? Or does she have the 10-year card? I checked, she was now permanent. The 2-year mark had passed. He said that even with permanent residency, I could still submit a fraud report if I believed the marriage was dishonest. Those don't get ignored. I asked what I'd need. He said, proof. Timelines. Texts. Emails. Anything that showed intention. I had it all, screenshots, messages, booking confirmations, those anniversary texts, even the one where she wrote she'd be free soon. I asked about the support form, the I-864. Ben advised me to file Form I-865 to formally withdraw my financial sponsorship. It wouldn't erase my past commitment, but it would notify the government I was backing out and suspected fraud. It would matter if things escalated. That night, I got to work. I saved every message, screenshot, and timestamp. Downloaded our travel receipts, emails, even old messages from when we did her immigration paperwork. The ones where she thanked me for helping her chase her dreams. By midnight, I had a folder on my desktop. Ariana, I-865 evidence packet. She still thought we were heading to Montreal. The following week was all logistics. It wasn't hard. Contract work teaches you how to cover your tracks, how to build a paper trail, separate quietly. I never thought I'd use that on my wife. Ariana had no idea. She was excited about the trip, gushing, even. Like she hadn't told another man she wanted his children. She even left a sticky note on my desk. You're too good to me. She wasn't wrong. First, I filed the I-865, the withdrawal of sponsorship. You can't undo an I-864, but the I-865 lets immigration know I no longer intended to support her financially. It was my line in the sand. I attached a letter outlining our marriage timeline, with highlighted messages to Louis, lining up exactly with key dates, wedding, green card filing, her comments about waiting it out. I explained how she'd maintained a secret relationship while leveraging our legal status. Ben reviewed everything, no drama, no accusations. Just facts and receipts. Then I began untangling our lives. We had a shared account we barely used. I documented every transaction, moved my portion to a new account, and closed the card. I printed all of it. Then, credit protection. I froze my reports at Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, not paranoia, just caution. She had access to too much. I also removed her as an authorized user from my Amex and Chase cards. Quietly. No notifications, just deactivation. Then came insurance and assets. She was on my employer health plan. I removed her during the allowed change window, citing domestic changes. The car she used? Still under my name. I re-registered it, took the keys while she was at brunch, and replaced it with a rental. Not hostile. Just, no longer hers. Everything had proof. Quiet. Final. All the while, she kept planning our trip. Even brought up starting a family. Said she was warming up to the idea. I almost laughed. I didn't. I just said, let's talk after Montreal. She smiled, kissed me, and went back to her show. But it was already done. Before leaving, I logged into our USCIS account and submitted a sworn statement. I believe this marriage was entered in bad faith for immigration purposes. I uploaded everything. Flagged it for fraud. Hit submit. Then I packed a bag and booked a short-term rental across town. She was asleep when I left. I didn't take the suitcase she packed for me. Left it by the door, with a Montreal ticket in the pocket. She could still go. Just not with me. On the Saturday we were supposed to leave, she called 7 times between 8 and 9 a.m. I let it ring. My phone lay face down next to my coffee. Her voicemail shifted from playful to worried. Are you running late? Turned into where are you? Then this isn't funny. The last one was just a whisper. Please call me. I didn't. My wedding ring stayed on the kitchen counter. No note. No pack bag. Just gone. By noon, she was texting mutual friends. By 3 p.m., one reached out. Carla, hey. Ariana says you disappeared. What's going on? I didn't answer. Not yet. The story wasn't finished. I placed a mail hold on our apartment and rerouted all key documents to a P.O. box. Canceled utilities I'd been covering, water, gas, internet. Nothing shut off, just changed names. That night, I got a USPS alert. A government letter had arrived from the Department of Homeland Security. 3 days later, she got it. It wasn't a removal notice, not yet. It was a request for evidence related to her I-751. A review of her permanent residency. Even with a 10-year green card, the case had been reopened. Quietly. No warning. The letter asked for proof that the marriage was real, joint accounts, photos, lease agreements, communication records, affidavits. At the bottom, in small print. This review was prompted by third-party submitted documentation. She called 11 times that day. I was with Ben. He had already seen the letter. She's spiraling, he said. They don't send these unless something's already moving. I nodded. You want to respond? He asked. Not yet. That night, the calls stopped. She emailed instead. Subject, I deserve an explanation. No apology. Just confusion. She said she felt blindsided. Abandoned. Claimed I snapped. Never once mentioned Louis. I replied with one sentence. You wanted my children, Ariana? You don't get my silence too. 3 days passed. Then a message from a number I didn't recognize. Louis won't answer me. Of course not. His name and info were in the fraud report. Not out of revenge, out of certainty. 3 weeks later, the next envelope arrived. I didn't need to see her open it. I knew that expression, the moment someone realizes it's really over. Not panic. Stillness. Ben had already forwarded me the same notice. USCIS had flagged her I-751 for denial. They found inconsistencies. Reopened the case. Investigated for fraud. Her status downgraded. Her green card on hold. Her work authorization wouldn't auto-renew. She couldn't travel. She had to prove the marriage was real. Without me, she couldn't, because it wasn't. Word got back to me. She tried reaching Louis again. No answer. A college friend said Ariana was going through something. Might lose her job. Her work visa was tied to her residency. Her nonprofit employer had been notified. They didn't fire her. But her promotion? Put on hold. Routine HR review, they said. But I knew what that meant. Then she texted me again. You didn't have to ruin my life. I stared at the message. Then replied. I didn't. You built it on a countdown. No response. That was the last message. 2 months later, I cleaned the garage. Most of it was hers, old books, broken furniture, boxes. One box in the back caught my eye. I already knew. Baby shoes. Still wrapped in tissue paper. I'd bought them 2 years earlier, during a quiet moment when I believed we might be ready. I never gave them to her. They were soft. Blue. Size 0. I didn't keep them. I took them to a local shelter that helps immigrant families. Left them at the front desk, taped with a sealed envelope. Inside, a handwritten note. For someone building a future, not borrowing one. The receptionist didn't ask questions. I didn't leave a name.